Now, Mr. President, I'm going to speak briefly on one other matter that was particularly striking last week when I was home, and I'm going to talk for a few minutes about the wonderful work taking place at Hermiston High School in Eastern Oregon. Last week, I had the honor of visiting the terrific career and technical education programs, what are called the CTE programs in Hermiston, and I got a chance to watch some very impressive students in action. One of the programs I visited is the Columbia Basin Student Homebuilders program. Got off the ground with a small amount of state financial assistance. And the reason that I wanted to discuss it this afternoon is I think this program that I saw, this Student Homebuilders program, can be a model, not just for my state, but for the nation. Students enroll in this Home Builders program and work with local construction professionals to actually build houses for their community. Under the supervision of a teacher, students learn all facets of planning, designing, and building a new energy-efficient home within a budget. During my visit, Liz, a star high school student, a senior and a future engineer, gave me a tour of this year's home, and it is nothing short of gorgeous. At the end of the school year, this beautiful, custom-designed home is going to be sold to a lucky family. Students are involved in every bit of the process, from planning and design to actual construction to the marketing and sale of the house. Revenue from the sale of the home funds the next project. So the next round of students in the program get to participate with no future funding required. Hermiston's high school career and technical education courses demonstrate to students that their community leaders are committed to helping them prepare for a successful life right out of high school. One student I met, Hannah, told me about her recreation and tourism project that involves starting a hospitality business. She's working to expand her line of cupcakes to meet customer demands. And I note that the President of the Senate has a great interest, as I do, in promoting recreation. That's why I've introduced the R&R bill, the Recreation Not Red Tape Act, and I was struck by Hannah's expertise, and I asked this student, I said, since you're going to be specializing in this field, and I note the President of the Senate probably saw it Sunday last, the Denver Post had a really extraordinary article describing recreation as the economic engine of the future. I'm not saying that just because they were kind to the R&R bill, but they talked about the promise of recreation in tourism, particularly for our part of the world. And I was so impressed with Hannah, I said, I'm going to send you the R&R bill, and I would really appreciate you and your colleagues looking for additional ways to cut the red tape and promote recreation and tourism in Oregon and throughout the West and support our existing and future businesses. The fact is, too many of our students are not graduating high school on time, and far too many are unprepared for the workforce. Research has shown that students enrolled in career and technical education courses graduate from high school at a higher rate. In fact, the students at Hermiston High School told me that their Home Builders program made them want to show up for school. I'm committed to increasing graduation rates in Oregon and across the country, and I think one of the best ways to do it is support programs like the one in Hermiston, because I think it is tailor-made to achieve this goal. Funding for Perkins career and technical education courses is a way to make sure programs like the one that I just saw can be started around the country. But funding for these programs has been decreasing since 1998. At the time that there is bipartisan consensus that career and technical education programs are important, not just for kids who want to be home builders, but all students, it seems to me that overhauling the failed policies of No Child Left Behind, the Senate made a choice to move away from the era of over-tested bubble kids and toward an era of well-rounded, multi-skilled high school graduates. So I'm glad to see that on the Senate Help Committee, the Labor and Pensions Committee, they're working hard on a proposal to reauthorize this career and technical education program known as the Perkins Law. The last time it was reauthorized was in 2006, so I'm going to work closely with my colleagues there on both sides of the aisle to keep pushing for a new bill. The fact is, the educators I saw last week are ambitious by any measure. They saw that their students were not graduating with the skills necessary to be successful in their future school and work lives. So the local educators started partnerships with architects and engineers and other professionals. They created a unique program that blends innovative classroom instruction with real-world application. There, we've got businesses directly engaging with young people, showing them not just what kinds of jobs are available in the community, but also proving that school is an important stepping stone in preparing for the real world. I'll close by way of saying that I've been in public service a while. It's such a tremendous honor to represent Oregon in the United States Senate. But I'll tell you, watching the way a small community in Eastern Oregon, Hermiston, has come together, made a commitment to their young people, is special, and it is truly what we call the Oregon way. So I'll close by way of saying that I'm grateful to the high school, Hermiston High, for allowing me to visit. I'm going to do everything I can to take the student home builder program that I saw last week and spread the word about what the potential is here. They already sold one house for a very healthy price. And I think we would be wise, again, here in the Senate, and have been mentioning, Democrats and Republicans, to come together, support career technical education, programs like the one that I saw in Hermiston, and urge all of us here in the Senate on a bipartisan basis to support federal and state assistance for these kinds of programs, career and technical education, for even more students from one end of our country to another. With that, Mr. President, I yield the floor.